Hello, if you'll allow me, I'd like to tell you a little story about what happened to me today and how, if you look for it, if you keep your eyes open, what you need at a specific moment of time might be right in front of your eyes. So I've just finished a book and I was walking back home earlier and it was going through my head how the book was it left me a bit raw actually. An awful lot of it's a brilliant written book, but a lot of the emotions and the feelings and actually situations within the book pretty close to home. So it kind of left me sort of thinking and being in my own head a little bit. It got me going through the thought process of why it is that I'm interested in Stoicism and a lot of the kind of philosophies that have helped me out over the last couple of years, and that it became apparent to me that there are times when I need to find answers, like I have to find answers, it's imperative. And then there are times when I want to find answers, when it's a nice thing to do. And something that I've often thought about is that people tend not to go to therapy when they're feeling great. It's the same as the doctors, isn't it? People don't go to the doctors, a bit like medicine 2.0 and 3.0. We go to the doctors when we're not very well. Medicine 2.0, what we should be doing is getting medical advice and seeking ideas about how to stay healthy, not how to get healthy once we're in bad shape. And I think it's the same with our mental health. We tend to kind of seek answers when we need them, and sometimes when we want to. And a lot of the last kind of couple of years, it's been a mixture of the two. I kind of switch between needing to find answers when things feel a little bit desperate and I'm on edge, and wanting to find answers. And that's really kind of what was going through my head. So in short, yeah, the search for answers is either led by a desperate need, an absolute kind of must have, or an interest, a desire to kind of want to know. So then I was thinking more about the fact that in the last few years, I've been able to develop more of an understanding of control. The fact that my actions and my reactions are the only things I have any control over. We've spoken about this in multiple videos. It's had a huge impact on me and been very liberating. And that our control over our actions is often considered. We have the time to consider our actions. It's more that our reactions are impulsive. When something happens to us, we then respond, and that often can be a little bit harder to sort of control. And I'm getting there, but it's been a very liberating journey, this understanding that I don't have a huge amount that I can control. But the truth of it is, an awful lot of those actions and reactions are external, aren't they? They're things that get seen and things that get done externally in the world. The one thing that nobody has any idea about are my thoughts, what's going on in my head. And they, for the most part, are pretty good. The understanding of control is there. I'm able to have quite rational and pragmatic and sympathetic and empathetic conversations with myself. And that has not always been the case. But there are 1% of the thoughts that go through my head that I really struggle with having any rational kind of thought over. They're a knock-on thing of my actions, it's in my subconscious, are creating a reason why somebody's behaving that way, and then that's coming back on me, and really, you know, it's because I'm like this, because I'm like this, because I'm like that, or because I've done that. All these things are occurring back to me, that I've created this action in somebody else. And these thoughts, they're very small. It's like 1% of my thoughts, and often it's in the wee small hours, or when I'm at my lowest, or when I'm absolutely exhausted, or something like that. They're very small, they're very few. For the most part, that, folks, is a Harley Davidson. And so there I am, walking home, pondering on how my kind of brain spirals, like everybody's do. I'm sure absolutely everybody has this sort of tiny part of their brain where you just can't reconcile any rational thought process behind it. Anyway, that's where my head was at with all of this, and I'm wandering along, and I'm also thinking about that Lao Tzu quote about how be careful of your thoughts, because your thoughts become your words become your actions become your habits become your character, and your character becomes your destiny. And I'm thinking about all these things, and I'm still pretty raw from this book and everything else. And as I'm walking home, I take a slightly different route back, and I'm walking down a road that I normally don't walk down, and I hear something. And I'm thinking to myself, I must be, maybe I've got a song in my head or something. But no, sure enough, I can hear some music playing, and it's clearly a live band. And as I'm walking along, I walk past a set of garages, and it dawns on me at the same time that some of my old friends, like old friends, known them for 30 plus years, sometimes get together on a Saturday afternoon in their mate's garage and have a little play. And they've told me about this before, And sure enough, there they are. I can hear them, and the door's open, and I just wander over to say hello. And I walk in, and John's there, and Nick's there, and Ben's there, and they're kind of just knocking around and stuff. And we have a quick catch up and a chat, and it's really lovely. And then they just sort of fall into playing a song. They sort of fall into playing a song called, it's called The Weight by the band. I don't know if you, hang on. So it goes something like, played quite badly. Take a load off Annie. Take a load off Annie. Take a load for free. Take a load off Annie. Take a load right on me. Something like that. They were playing that. These guys aren't looking for a record deal. There's no ego in there. They're just gathering together on a Saturday afternoon, have a couple of beers, have a chill. They've been playing for years. They've known each other for years. I don't even know if they do any gigs or anything. And do you know what? It sounded amazing, like really good. Stood at the doorway there, just tapping my foot, joining in on a couple of little harmonies here and there. My God, it just landed with me. It's what I needed just to snap me out of that thought process. Everything's fine. The lyrics in those songs are slightly surreal and maybe a little bit suspect in places, but the idea of kind of, you know, carrying a load or whatever, I was just in a mindset that I needed to be snapped out of. And those guys in there just reminded me what it's like to play music, what it's like to hang out with your mates. And we're going to a party tonight, and I was kind of like half like, oh, am I going to enjoy myself this evening or whatever? Yeah, I'm going to enjoy myself. Like that just reminded me of what it's all about, really. It's all pretty simple. It's all pretty controllable. And those 1% of thoughts and things, maybe I'll have them forever, but you know what? I'll also have the ability to pull myself around on it too. So that's where my head's at the minute. Just kind of like, you need to keep your eyes and your ears open at times, particularly when you're spiraling a bit. I think those are the most important times. You become very insular and very closed off. And I was able to just be aware enough to hear the band playing, and I really needed that at that precise moment. So Ben, John and Nick and the other two, who I don't actually know very well, thank you for that. I actually really, really needed that today, more than you guys will ever realise. Anyway, that's another day done. Park run done this morning, ran about 26 minutes. Felt really strong, very in control. And I'm about to do my core and my yoga session, and then I'll be done for the day. So anyway, on to tomorrow. Tomorrow will mark my first third of it completed. Anyway, that's my story for today. That's where my head's been. I'll see you tomorrow.